Good morning. I'm going to plant some plants today. I have started a bunch of seeds and now they're to the point where they're just like overgrown and not thriving in these little pots. So they need to be in the ground. A few of them I'm going to give away to like my mom and the neighbor, and I put some in my market out front, but didn't really have any takers. They took some mint, but no pumpkins. So I might put a few zinnias out there and some pumpkins just to see if maybe anyone wants a free plant. So I'm gonna take you along today and we're gonna plant some pumpkins. We're gonna plant some zinnias. And then I have like 3 or 4 cosmos that I started that finally came up. So we're gonna go ahead and plant those as well. The problem with planting pumpkins is that you can plant like one pumpkin plant and it can take over. So I'm trying to figure out the best spot to add more pumpkins. I've already have some planted in the garden, but what I'm thinking is not everything is gonna survive throughout the rest of the summer and into the fall. So I'm trying to think like what's gonna like die out and where am I gonna have space to plant, because right now I don't really have my fall planting schedule, whatever I want to do. I haven't ordered any seeds yet. I need to get on that, and matter of fact I'll probably do that today. But I'm trying to think in the future, where am I gonna have a decent amount of space to grow pumpkins, because they take over everything. They need a lot of space to grow, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. I have a really small garden, but I'm okay with things overlapping and intertwining and just looking really lush and pretty. So it doesn't bother me. I have all of these zinnias that I started, and they're looking really good. Some are bigger than others. So I think I'm gonna plant these this morning and possibly give most of these away. So if you're in the area, you're local to Boyd, Texas, they'll be in the market. I planted one pumpkin plant in this pot just to see in-ground planting versus pot planting. Your pots, they typically dry out faster because of the wind, and then the terracotta just like, you know, they get hot and they dry out pretty fast. So many weeds. Actually, most of this is just grass, but anyway, I have these chicken tunnels that go all the way around my garden. And in theory, it would be nice to be able to use those as like a trellising system, but the chickens, they tend to eat everything they can get to. I've tried to get the watermelon to grow up and over the chicken tunnel to just kind of trellis it out a little, because they like to spread as well. But I'm gonna try this pumpkin in here and see if I can get it to trellis a little and see, kind of as an experiment, what the chickens are gonna do to it. Are they gonna destroy it completely, or are they gonna like nibble and then leave it alone? In the little peat soil pods, and I only had 4 that germinated and actually did anything. And since they're kind of still on the small side, I'm just gonna plant them in my raised, you can see it's a plant that didn't take off, it didn't do anything. So I'm just gonna throw this in the compost. As you can see, I have 1 beet plant left. And actually, I have a little radish that I guess I missed when I was pulling up all my radishes that got left. I'm afraid to pull up this beet because I'm pretty sure there ain't gonna be nothing on it on the inside. It didn't produce like I wanted it to. None of the others did. But it does still look pretty. I like the purple color. So I'm just gonna leave it. So I'm just gonna do 2 here and 2 here, and that way I can plant whatever I want right in here. Back on this back side, as you can see, there's some sprouts coming up. Those are the dwarf teddy bear sunflowers, the container variety. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plant these little cosmos, see what they're gonna do, because why not? I already put some pumpkins in the ground on the side of my pepper plants. Most of these pepper plants aren't doing what I want them to. They're not producing like they should. So I figure once they die off, I will just have pumpkins right here, because why not? I wanted to do an arched system so that way they can like grow up on a trellis, but I don't really have the supplies for that currently. I'm thinking maybe a cattle panel, but we're not quite there yet. So right now I just have the starts in the ground. These are the starts that I want to go ahead and plant or get rid of. As you can see, they're very big and bushy, and they already have little buds on them. So these need to go in the ground, whether they go in the ground in my garden or someone else's. They're ready to be planted. I'd like to say that I'm this organized, planned, like planter and gardener, but I'm not. That would be a total lie. I plant willy-nilly. I just throw things out there and hope for the best, because why not? You ain't got nothing to lose, and it's all trial and error and experiment. I figure one day I'll have a plan, a set plan on what I want to plant, what's going in the ground after that plant, maybe get into the whole succession planting. Really want to get into that. But that's not me right now. Right now, I'm experimenting with what I want to grow, how things grow, what things look like when they're full grown, which things produce, which ones don't, which ones need more water, less water. I'm just trying to take all of those mental notes on how these plants are growing, because I don't know. I've never grown all of them before. I don't know everything. I went to school for it. I don't even know if I've mentioned that. I think I touched on it, but never really got into it. I went to Tarleton State University, got a bachelor's degree in horticulture and landscape management. Right when I graduated, I got a job as a landscape designer in Grapevine, Texas, and I enjoyed it, but it was too much travel for me, and it just wasn't what I wanted to get into at the time, so I got out of it. I've had a few after that, like jobs after that, but they were mostly retail, plant related, but retail. And I never really was able to have that hands-on experience as a gardener. So I feel like I'm getting that now. But I'm still learning. I don't know everything, and I'm trying to take those mental notes and, you know, write things down and figure out what grows best in my area. And that's okay, because we don't need to know everything, because if we did, it would be boring. Okay, so, oh, speaking of, okay, do you see this little potting bench I have? This is just like a 2x6. Somebody was actually throwing it out. I found it on the side of the road. Another side of the road find, I know. But you could totally make this, and it's like the perfect size to just carry it around the garden and plant or harvest. I love it. Okay, so I have my pumpkins Some of them look really, really good, and some of them don't look so great. So I'm gonna kind of weed through here and see which ones I want to plant, see which ones got really leggy and are like falling over, like this one, and I might just go ahead and plant those. Since they're already pretty big, I don't know how many I'm gonna plant in here. I'm gonna lay them out and see what's gonna be best. It's still gonna be open. I'm gonna have a little pumpkin patch over here. That's all there is to it. A little pumpkin patch in my pepper bed. Some of these look pretty decent, nice and green, and then the same time I planted, I mean, these are turning yellow and not looking so hot. So I'm not sure what the heck happened. These are the triple threat pumpkins. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant these. And I think I am gonna do a trellis. I'm gonna talk my husband into finding me a cattle panel. I'm trellising these out. Let's see what they look like here. So when I get a plant out of a pot, I like to just kind of squeeze it. If you can, tap it maybe, just to loosen up that soil from the pot, and then it should just slide right out. Now these I planted myself in my own little mixture of dirt. They actually don't look terrible. You can see all the roots and nutrients there. And then I'm just gonna kind of gently break it up. Since this is not like a regular typical potting soil, it's gonna be a lot looser. Stick that into the ground, press it in, and then just kind of mulch around it. And you can see this is already going towards me, and it's gonna be a cluster. It's gonna be a big pumpkin forest over here. But again, I'm okay with that. Find some shade, running out very fast. So I have about 5 more pumpkin plants to put in the ground. My options are over by my kale, and kind of just assume that the chickens are going to just destroy them, but maybe some will survive enough to go up and over the chicken tunnel. I don't know. I think that might be reaching for the stars. My tomatoes is another option, because a lot of these tomatoes are going to be pulled up probably soon, because they're not doing what I want them to. So I could plant underneath the tomatoes. That's an option. Or back where I was, where my peppers are, I could plant on the opposite bed, like close in between. So basically in between the bed and the chicken tunnels. Again, you run into the same problem with the chickens destroying them, but that might just be a risk I'm willing to take. And then I have 8 left over, so 4 are gonna go to my mom and 4 are gonna go to the neighbor. And then we'll move on to zinnias. So many weeds. I should get down here and weed more often, but I don't want to. I've decided on the spot in between the peppers and the chicken tunnel. I have 5 pumpkin plants left, and that's where they're gonna go. If they get destroyed by the chickens, then they get destroyed by the chickens. I'm not gonna worry about it. now that I've got them all planted, I'm just gonna give them a drink of water, water them in pretty good, but not too good because it's about 10 a.m. in the morning and the sun's fixing to come out and just destroy them. So I just want to give them enough of a drink to where, you know, they've got a fighting chance. Okay, I've got all of my pumpkins planted. Now I'm going to plant all of my zinnias. I have a lot of zinnias here. And I'm thinking, you know, ideally I would want flowers just all over the garden, right? When I've got, you know, a few. But at the same time, like, you really have to think, what sun exposure are they gonna get? Are they gonna get enough sun? Like, I can't plant them underneath my tomatoes because they would never get enough sun. So I'm gonna keep them in the bed over here to my left, which has just got like broccoli, kale, artichoke, and collard greens, and a squash plant. But most of my other zinnias are in there. So I'm just gonna put all of these zinnias in there and I'll just have a big zinnia bed. I think it'll be pretty. And then if I get enough, I can practice on cutting them and putting them in a vase for the house. So do like a whole cut flower situation. Okay, so I went to go plant my zinnias and I discovered something. What are they called? My potatoes are coming up. My potatoes. I had this potato coming up out of the ground and I just broke it off, and then I noticed there's 2 more. That's so cool. So I don't know if I need to like dig up the rest of these or what. Look at that. That's a whole potato. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. I grew potatoes. Oh, I see another one. I don't know if I should pull all these potato plants up. It would give me more space to plant. Look at all little potatoes. I don't really see any more. That might be it for now, but I bet you there's more under the ground. Those are just the ones that were on the surface. How cool! I have finished planting all of my zinnias that I'm gonna plant. The rest I'm just gonna either put in the market or give away. I did harvest a few potatoes, which I didn't know I was gonna do today. But look at all my potatoes. I mean, these purple ones are cool. To be honest, I didn't even know I planted purple tomatoes. I think I got the bulbs from like a Walmart, just spontaneously. Can't wait to wash these and see that true purple color. Look at that, how cool. I grew potatoes. So now I'm gonna take my spinach that I dried essentially, and then it got wet, and then it dried again, and then it got wet. So I'm gonna take that into the house and kind of get the seeds off of the stems so I can save the seeds for my fall harvest, so I can have spinach in the fall. Well, that's the goal anyway. I don't know if it's actually gonna work. And I'll tell you what, there are so many wasps down here. It's crazy. And I think I'm gonna move the garden bench into the garden. Right now it's way over here at the shop. Wow, my hair's something. And I'm gonna put that in the garden so I have something else to sit on out here, because why not, you know, just why not? So I can't wait for all these zinnias to just start blooming. If you don't know what a zinnia is, it's these flowers back here. I can show you. They're really pretty. I never thought to have like fresh cut flowers from the garden, but that's a cool concept to me. So I think I'm gonna try that, see how it goes. And then I think for my fall harvest, my fall planting plan, I'm going to pull up all of my tomatoes. I know, it sounds awful. I love tomatoes. We eat so many tomatoes each day, but I'm gonna use my big tomato bed for all of my fall planting. And then whatever else dies, you know, behind me and out around the garden, you know, I'll just go ahead and use that bed space too. But for now, that way I can just plant whatever I want out here. I'm gonna use my tomato bed for the fall plants. It's like 1,000,000 degrees outside. It's actually less hot than it was yesterday. All I want to do is eat. So I'm going to make me a salad. So I'm going to go down to the garden and I'm going to get some stuff to make a salad. All right, I'm going to get some kale here. I think the rule of thumb is to not take more than 3/4 of the plant, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, I just cut it. You always want to check for worms on the back side because they will have their little cocoony things on there, and that's disgusting. I'm not eating that. So I'm going to cut some kale first. I think I'm also going to take some of these broccoli leaves. The leaves of a broccoli plant, believe it or not, are edible. So, ooh, that one looks like it's got some eggs on it. Okay, I'm not gonna eat the eggs. But anyway, I'm gonna take some of these and chop these up and put them in my salad as well, because why not? All right, I'm gonna wash very, very thoroughly my kale. When I make my salads, this is my kale. I've already washed it thoroughly, but I'm still gonna go ahead and check it just to double check. I'm telling you, I ain't eating no worms. I like to cut out the center because it's just too crunchy for my style. I said pretty thin. Don't slice your finger off. This will be the base for my salad. My kale nice and chopped up. This is a cucumber that I grew from the garden. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. I'm gonna take my slicery guy here and just peel. Never thought I'd have a cooking show. Well, this is not really cooking. This is slicing and dicing and chopping and throwing into a bowl. We keep a little compost bin right here in the kitchen, and that's where it's gonna go. I have kale and broccoli and cucumber. Now I'm gonna take some of these tomatoes that I grew from my garden and throw them in there as well. I'm gonna add some lime juice because I like lime juice. I'm gonna add some of this Olive Garden Italian dressing. Add some bacon bits, cheese, shredded Colby Jack Monterey. I'm gonna add some walnuts. I'm also gonna add some pine nuts. And some pumpkin seeds. A little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna add some pepper. And a little bit of salt. Mix this together, and there we go, fresh salad. I'm finally getting organized, and I'm going through my seed catalogs. I showed you the other day, these are my seed catalogs. I have one from Botanical Interest, and I have one from Burpee. I just went to botanicalinterest.com and burpee.com and searched for seed catalog, and that's how I ordered mine. It took forever to come in though. So if you're thinking about ordering seeds, I would go ahead and just order the seed catalog. When it comes in, then you can just kind of go through and see what you want to get. I am noticing just from first glance that Burpee's seeds are more expensive than the Botanical Interest, which I figured it would be the opposite, but it's not. So I'm going through and I'm making my list. At the top I have which seed catalog it's coming from. I have how much it's going to cost me per seed packet, what the variety is, if it's indeterminate or determinate, and the order number. So this is how I have it listed. I also have it subcategorized by tomatoes, and so on. So now I'm trying to decide, as I eat my lovely salad, which seeds I want. I've already gone through the entire Botanical Interest. I've made my list. I probably didn't put as much as I want on there just because I'm limited on space. It costs money, and I'm still experimenting with what I want to grow. But now I'm going to go through the Burpee catalog and just kind of compare the two and just see if there's anything maybe I want to grow that wasn't in the Botanical Interest. For instance, I'll show you. Right here in the very beginning of this catalog, I don't lose my spot, but are these bodacious tomatoes. Oh, I want to grow them so bad, but where am I going to put them? They're huge. Also, there's another one in here. Where did it go? Right here. Look at this. Look at that tomato. That's insane to me. Insane. I thought about doing beans, but you have to have a good trellising system for beans, and I don't. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how to trellis my pumpkins, so that'll be an experiment in its own. Beets, I definitely want to do, but I've already pulled some beet seeds from the Botanical Interest. Broccoli, I didn't really have good success with broccoli. I would love to do Brussels sprouts, but I'm the only one in my family that will eat Brussels sprouts, so I feel like it's kind of a waste of time. Carrots. I want to do a ton of carrots in the fall, but I have already pulled some from Botanical Interest. Corn, I'm not going to do. Cucumbers, I would like to do because I really like the lemon cucumber water, which is what's in here. The fresh cucumbers really just make the water. It's good for all kinds of things, like your blood pressure and dark circles under your eyes and your mood and your skin, and just cucumber water does wonders. So I think having a fresh cucumber from the garden, put into my water, it's good. And plus you can ferment them. I've got 2 on the counter behind me fermenting. They have to ferment for 2 weeks, and then you can put a regular lid on them. I've never had fermented cucumbers. I don't even really know what fermenting is. I want to say on the outside looking in, it's like a comparison to pickling. We'll see. The eggplant, my eggplant did really, really well this year, but We don't eat a lot of eggplant, so I was like, I don't really want to do more eggplant. So I think I'm going to skip that. I wish I would have done garlic. That'll be coming. I do want to do lettuce just because I'm going to the store and I'm buying heads of lettuce for my chickens. And I think it would be awesome if I could just go down to the garden and chop one off and then hang it up for the chickens. It just seems cool to me. So if I can do that, I'm going to. I might experiment with a few different lettuces because I like my kale in my salads, but I like lettuce too. I am going to do the arugula, so that'll be coming. But if I could do like, I don't know, maybe like a butter crunch. That one looks pretty. Or a romaine. Or the little gem. That one looks really cute. But see, I'm not totally familiar with these seed catalogs. Some of them say like, this one's 2,000 seeds per packet for $4.95. That's an all-season romaine blend. It's pretty. I might actually put that one on the list. I'm gonna dog ear that one. Okay. Another thing that I really want to get into is microgreens. And they have the microgreen seed packets in both of the catalogs. That's definitely something I want to look into. The whole like having a grow light is what's stopping me right now because I don't have a grow light or a system or a place to like be able to do that. So in my mind, it has to make sense first. And I don't want my house to be like cluttered or like too much. I don't know. So I have to figure that one out. My brain's not quite figured that out yet. Okra, my okra actually did really well this year, but here recently it's gotten a lot of ants on it and I'm not sure what that's about, but I don't like ants on my okra. So I usually dust it with like a DE or lime. And we don't eat a lot of okra, but it was my experimental plant for this season and I wanted to see if I could grow it and I did and they look good. And I actually just froze some last night. Basically just chopped it up, well washed it and then I chopped it up, laid it on a like cookie sheet on parchment paper, froze it like overnight. And then the next morning, which was actually this morning, I put it in like a freezer bag and just stuck it in there. So we've got fresh okra for anyone that wants it. I don't know that I'm gonna eat it. I don't like onions. That's one thing about me. I do not like onions. Although I did plant some onions in the garden this season. I just haven't really pulled them up yet. I would love to do peas, but no one likes peas but me. So would it be a waste of time? Probably. I'm not going to do as many peppers, again, because we don't eat a lot of peppers. I did freeze the bell peppers. But like as far as like the hot peppers and stuff, we make, you know, like a salsa, but like we don't eat salsa every day. So it's like, do I really need 6 different kinds of peppers? Probably not. Potatoes, I would love to do more. You know, potatoes are just so versatile. You can do so many things with potatoes. And I just pulled up some potatoes from the garden. Let me go get them. I'll show you. But look at these. All these different kinds of potatoes. These are my potatoes from my garden. I grew these. How cool is that? They still have all the dirt on them. I haven't even washed them off yet, but I'll get there. Don't worry. Pumpkins, like I said, I want to learn how to trellis. Radishes, I'm not going to do. Spinach, I'm fixing to do the spinach seeds, I promise. They're sitting right outside on the patio drying because I made the mistake of when I pulled the plant up, I just laid it on the soil. And so every night when we would go out to water, even though we weren't intentionally watering it, it got wet. So I had to like keep letting it re-dry. So I'm going to pull those off soon. I don't know if I'm going to do more. The squash, you know, I would love to do like a spaghetti squash. That way when I make spaghetti, I can do the squash spaghetti instead of like a regular noodle spaghetti because it's healthier for you. I mean, I don't know that my husband would totally eat it every single time, but maybe like once or twice. I would love to do Swiss chard. This is Swiss chard up here. It's just so colorful and pretty. But what do you do with it? What do you do with Swiss chard? I don't know. I don't know. And then all of the lovely tomatoes. I'm definitely going to have to do more tomatoes. I like the Brandywines. I want to do the Sunny Boy. I want to do more for canning the tomatoes. So I am doing Aroma Supreme hybrid from Botanical Interest. But I'm going to compare my tomato choices here and see if I can get a few more going from Burpee. We'll see where that gets me. I've noticed that I really, really like a larger, meatier tomato versus like the cherries or the Sweet 100s. They're good in salads, but like I'm the type of person where I could take a tomato and wash it and then just slice it and eat it like an apple. I am obsessed with tomatoes. I love them. I have heard though that the skin of a tomato and the seed of a tomato can actually like inflame or like cause harm as far as like arthritis and joint problems and things like that. But I'm like, when you're growing your own tomatoes and they taste so delicious, it's a risk I'm willing to take. The Cherokee Purple is by far my favorite. I do want to do the Yellow Pear. And I have that from Botanical Interest. So a lot of them are the same. I might compare some prices and how many are in the packet. Maybe that would be another determinant. The Sun Gold. Look at these. These are beautiful. These ones right here. I'm going to do these, but I'm thinking about doing these too. And I am going to do like the Indigo, which is like a purple tomato. That one is, let's see, let me show you the Botanical Interest. Right here. Look at that one. Can you even see it? Probably not. Anyway, they're like dark purple, and I think that is awesome. Watermelon, I don't really have the space for, and I already have some going. We'll just see how that goes. And then as far as like herbs and flowers, I'm not really sure. We don't use a lot of herbs. I know we should. I do like the parsley. I might get some more parsley. I have that and it did really, really well. Basil is another one I really want to do. I didn't do any basil this year and I should have. Kind of regret that. All the berries and stuff, I don't really have luck with. I'm thinking about doing flowers, more flowers. I just don't know what kind yet. I know I want to do like a snapdragon. Let's see if I can find a snapdragon here. Okay. So these are the snapdragons that I'm thinking about maybe trying out. And then of course I'm going to try more zinnias and probably some sunflowers, but you know, me and sunflowers are not mixing very well. So I don't know how well my sunflowers are going to do because they're just not. My zinnias, I can definitely grow. So I might get more of those. I mean, look at all the colors. They're beautiful. I mean, how do you decide? So I might just do flowers from Burpee and then get all of my vegetables and herbs from Botanical Interest. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Plus, I still need to look on like shipping times and all of that. So anyway, this is what I'm doing. Go order some seeds order your seed catalog, get your seeds, put your seeds in the ground and grow something.